Oh, everybody.
Hello,
What the
hello.
hell was that? Video not found. Man,
So
this
slow
thing.
and it's crazy.
Anyways, um, welcome everyone to NUFC Talk TV. We are live with NUFC Monday night show, late night show to talk what's happened throughout the weekend and some recent news of today. Monday always brings us news. So we'll talk about that. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Become a member if you can to the channel. It'll help us grow and, of course, fund the channel as well. So appreciate that, all your support. You can super chat, you can super sticker, you can do all. Please help us out. Bottom right, high inside in the corner, bottom somewhere around there, you'll get the $sign and follow the steps and help us out. I dropped my pen. Hold on, let me pick it up. There we go. I have to have a pen or else I can't talk. You know, it's kind of weird, isn't it? But we got Wayne, we got Gary, we got Tim in the building for this late night evening show. So, all right. Welcome, fellas. Hope you're well. Hope it's a
Good
good Monday.
evening, all.
And good Monday back at it. So,
Oh, indeed.
all right. And we got a lot of news. We have a few news, few pieces that we can talk about. We'll dwell a little bit on the game because it was a thrashing that they gave us, outclassed certainly. But you know, I don't think it's as bad as people think. When we lose, some people do tend to go to the other end, but and just it's either black and white, no gray areas. I think that there could be some people are upset about Jason Tyndall's saying that we were tired. The 3 games in a row, 4 games in a row could be too much. I think that maybe after the game, that sounds like a cheap excuse, but I mean, it does have a point. You're using the same players over and over and over. Although,
7 on the trot.
if you're in Champions League, you're playing Premier League, and then Premier League again, you're gonna have to play the same players. You're gonna have to because those are the main tournaments. Unless you got the Carabao Cup, unless you got the Carabao Cup that you can put weak players or lower level players. But if you got Premier League and you got Champions League and you got Premier League again, most players will play.
No, but what it means is we need a deeper squad.
I know that, but even if you got a deeper squad, my point is,
I mean,
yes,
sometimes
but,
I think managers just have to put their hands up sometime and say we're outplayed on the day. Aston Villa was superior all over the park. Tactically, Unai Emery got one over us, and it happens at times. It's you can call it what it is, but at the end of the day, they were better in every single area of the park. And the only thing that made a little bit of difference was Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins absolutely hammered Shaw. He highlighted Shaw as the weak link, and because he played in the half space, it stopped Trippier from going forward. Trippier then had to play in the half space. So when we went man for man, what you get then is you always have a spare player because Trippier cannot go forward and do his man marking towards the 6 role, the right of the 6, which he usually does, because he was too fearful of Watkins and Shaw getting hammered, because he literally run Shaw into the ground on Saturday. And it's, this is what I'm saying. For me, it was the time not to go man to man. That was the game for me. Martinez is probably one of the best in the Premier League for delivery of the ball from his feet. If he's not the best, he's one of the best. So as soon as he's got the ball at feet, just let him have it. Just drop off. Just give let them have the ball up their end and then go on the press when they get to the halfway line. That's when you can close it down. But I think going man to man so high up the park, it just allowed them far too much space in and around the centre circle for the likes of Rodgers, McGinn to take advantage. And then once they'd got the ball in them areas, it was just pace, and that's what really upset us.
Before we get too far into the show, to happy Easter to everybody that celebrates. Hope you had a good weekend. I certainly celebrated, and it's just as much as we said Eid Mubarak when it was due. Happy Eid. We got we say Happy Easter as well. Not to get too political now, I do have to say, obviously, condolences to all Catholics because the Pope Francis has passed on to a better life. The Supreme Pontiff passed away this morning. So, just condolences to all Catholics and all Christians alike on this day. But happy Easter, nevertheless. So, all right, moving on to the next one. And by the way, Pope Francis, big football fan, man. He was a big San Lorenzo de Almagro fan from Argentina, and a big time one of the big clubs in Argentina. Wayne, I don't know if you know in other teams. I know you know you don't.
That's where we got Colaccini from.
But San Lorenzo, no, well, no, not really, man. He went to San Lorenzo after he left. Well, he
He started off at San Lorenzo.
yeah, exactly. But we didn't get him from there. He came from Milan.
Well, no, it came from Spain, but
Milan, man. He came from Milan, is in Italy. You know that. Anyway, some of them Latin-speaking countries.
I thought we got Colaccini from San Sebastian.
Well, San Sebastian is not a club; that's just a place, and that would be where
Toshak was.
where Isak came from.
Yeah,
forget
exactly.
now. Yeah, no,
Real
but no.
Sociedad.
Real Sociedad. Yeah, that's
Sociedad,
right.
yeah.
There you go. There's a Jordy there that knows his stuff. And by the way, we're getting some people to sign that, Mighty Wind replace Pope to be an interim Pope, but he's too far gone, man. He's going down south. He ain't-
Sam Allardyce has got that job.
yeah. Mighty Wind is going down south, man. He's too late to make amends at this point. But anyways, so Tim, let me get your take, mate. I mean, it's a thrashing, but we if there was a game where we could lose points, it was this one.
Yeah. I mean, I did fear the game beforehand, and I thought the first half, obviously Villa came out of the blocks, and you think, okay, we're in a game, yeah. But I thought we did really well to just grasp a bit of control back as the half went on, and we did have some chances, or at least half chances. And I thought we showed some mettle in that first half to go in 1-1. But I agree what you're saying, Gary, in that I think second half we should have been okay. Let's take stock. They're right at it, Villa. We've done well to come back. We need to just maybe just sit in now, second half, and let them come on to us. And if we have a chance to break, then we'll break. But let's not expose ourselves too much. And I think it's like we've won like what was it, 5 in a row or something. So I think it's a case of maybe the players thought, well, no, we can keep on winning. We can win every game. But I think maybe they just needed someone to rein them in a bit and just put the brakes on.
Tim, for some reason I hear you. You guys hear muffled a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to understand.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can. I don't know.
I'll
reset.
come
or,
back. I'll come back in.
A good point, though. I mean, it was a game.
Once the dust settled, you kind of look at it and you say, listen, if somebody had said to us at the start of the season, with 4 games to play, we'll have won the Carabao Cup and we'll be fourth.
Well,
and we'll
I mean,
be fourth in the league.
Let's see. That's
Everybody
what,
would have taken that.
Yeah, of
Everybody.
course. It's an obvious thing, man. Every time you put in winning the trophy, nobody will ever say no. The point, though, I think if you rephrase it to saying, if you whatever the situation is, if you bet to win 3 in a row and lose to Aston Villa away, that would be everybody would take that as well.
Yeah.
That would be more of a fair assessment. To be fair, because if you put a winning a trophy, that's pointless. Nobody's gonna, So I think in this instance, we are very close to Champions League. Something really bad has to happen for us not to finish.
What I'm
Champions
saying, though, is everybody would have been absolutely ecstatic to be in that position.
Well, exactly.
So the fact that
And
we
by the way-
lost away to Aston Villa, who, by the way, are on one hell of a run, won their last 10 games, apart from PSG away. What's not to be happy about, really?
Mhm.
I mean, what I'm unhappy about is the performance.
Well, yeah, that's what we're talking about. There are a lot of things that need to be fixed. I think that I'm not. It's kind of unfair because nobody said this when Jason Tindall's quote unquote was winning, but I think that Jason Tindall met his level over the weekend. It's he did. I think the substitutions weren't. I don't think they just didn't make any sense, other than giving up on the game and take the players out. All right, well that's I guess that's an option. I don't know that Eddie would have done anything. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird
Eddie
anyway.
would have done any different, to be fair.
It's
Because
so it's
there's not a lot of options available. That's the trouble.
Yeah, but once you start putting J7 on the right, and then you start doing a lot of that stuff, that's kind of unheard of. You can question it a bit. But I actually saw TOON Nuts comment like hours ago when he was just stumbling upon the stream. He said, "This is my issue now. Not sure what annoyed me more, the fact that we played shite or so-called fans thought it was funny. We got hammered. There's definitely fake fans in our chat. Well, there are some fans that I'm sure are. I don't know if I want to. I don't even know if they would be fans if they're hoping us to lose, but that want to be right, maybe." By the way, I haven't seen Tiger Studios in a long time. We've been winning, I don't know. It's a lot of people have been saying that in the chat, but it's not fair to go at the team right now because we're in a great form. One game doesn't determine whether we're in a bad form or not, and something really catastrophic has to happen for us not to be in Champions League. It really.
If we was to go ahead now. With that loss against Aston Villa, and it affects us to the point now where we go on a losing spree. Maybe we get a loss against the likes of Ipswich. It would feel like the wheels had fell off the bus, wouldn't it? It really would, because it's been a great season so far, and you are going to have one of these days where for me, you can't cope when you can cope with two players perhaps in a side that just aren't at the races on the day. But we had 5 or 6 that just weren't at the races. We lost that midfield battle for me. And like I say, sometimes, well, yeah, for me, you just can't carry players especially when you've not rotated the squad or you haven't got the quality to rotate the squad. And, I've been watching, I watched the first half of the Forest game and, Elliot Anderson looks an absolute miles ahead of the likes of Miley now. And you look at, what we've lost by getting rid of Anderson, who I'm not saying he would have changed the result or anything, but he gives you that energy in midfield. He gives you those legs. And we've not had that, once we've make substitutions, there's nobody in that midfield three, apart from the odd occasion with Willock where he breaks lines. But apart from that, there's nothing changes. And like I say, it's just the decline. So, for me, there has to be some movement in the summer now. And if this doesn't, knock on the Saudi door and say, listen, this is the situation that we're in. We've got a squad of 11 players. And if we're now in European competition, whichever it is, and it looks like it should be Champions League if we continue. But, we need a bigger squad. And that's, like I said, you can't go through 3 windows without bringing players in and still be expecting to win nearly every game. It's impossible. It really is.
Yeah. Finish your point, Tim. We couldn't hear you earlier. Can't hear you now.
No, we can't hear him at all.
your mic, maybe you're on mute. I don't think so. I think his mic.
No, it looks clear. His mic's clear.
Yeah. Maybe his mic selection in Evermux is not there. But we can go to some comments here. Meanwhile, just talk when you're ready, mate. Let me see. Let's go with some comments because people are having their say. We're going to get to some news as well, so stay tuned. Kenny seems Leeds promoted but can't afford Pope. Oh, what? Was he supposed to go to?
Yeah, that was interesting with him, wasn't they? But I think I wouldn't say they were interested in him. There was like a link looking if they do get promoted. It looks like Pope would have been the ideal candidate to go.
It looks like Leicester. Leicester. All of them really are going to go down. Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester. I'm pretty sure it's official already, isn't it? On all of them, all 3.
Yeah.
So, barring.
Yeah,
Leicester,
mathematical, it's not, but it is.
But I think
Leicester they overturn a 21 goal difference in 5 games.
Vardy expressed his feelings, and I had faith for Leicester, man, this season. I did. That was one of and we're going to start doing that next season, by the way. We're going to have a board. We're going to start sticky notes. We're going to fill them up with top predictions. More likely, Mighty Wayne's going to fail all of those. But one of my predictions was that Leicester was going to stay up, and they didn't. So I was wrong on that one. But, hey, we're not flawed, man. That can't be perfect, rather said. It can't be perfect. I had Foxes. I had the hope for the Foxes, man. I don't know why. I just did. But they switched managers to Van Nistelrooy.
They're far away from the team that they used to be, mate, to be fair.
Yeah, back in the well, not back in the day, really, back like
No.
8 years ago.
That's what I said.
All right, Heltzazar says, for some reason, there's a lot of angry fans out there. It's stupid to be fair. We lost a game. We are still in good stead to remain third. And as Win says, second. So there you go. Well, I do. I don't know. Listen, I'm the first one to be critical, but you just can't. It's not based on anything. I mean, you can as far as the performance is concerned, but not the. It doesn't mean that the next one is going to be like Ipswich are not going to beat us. And if they do, it'll be something really catastrophic, in my opinion. It's just not like
The alarm bells would be ringing if Ipswich beat us.
yeah.
I'm saying alarm bells ringing in terms of Champions League.
Well, yeah, I just don't see that happening. And actually, let me see another guy that's always happy, really, and getting at me for being a downer. Says Michael, I don't think whatever people would take at the start of the season win, but not argumentative. But Saturday was a joke.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that's just the issue, with Newcastle, right?
There was too many players, too many plasterers didn't bring their trowels.
Right. So
Come on, Spurs. We need Spursy to get another one because obviously we drop a place tonight if Forest go ahead and finish the game.
So what's happening over there?
2-1 now to Notts Forest against Spurs.
Man, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, okay, so right now third at the moment. Anyway, Forest are third, back at third. Newcastle fourth, and with a difference of points of just one. So if we beat Ipswich, we'll be all right. But yeah, I mean, at least a draw would be decent.
Yeah. I'd be happy. I mean, to be fair, the way Spurs played the first half, I mean,
they're just a rubbish team.
They're just awful. I mean, he swapped the side obviously because Europe for him now is his main aim, and I think Matt's probably going to keep him in a job if I'm honest with you, because I can see him getting the boot at the end of the season. But they look all over the shop. To be fair, Spurs.
Yeah, and people saying we need a City win tomorrow. Who are they playing against?
Villa.
Yeah,
it's the Man City Villa game tomorrow.
How? Is that a game of hand or what?
No, it's just because they've got Europe, haven't they? So they have to play.
Oh, they're gonna. Oh, nice.
So they play tomorrow. And let's see. I mean, I'd love a draw if I'm honest. I really would love a draw because that just gets another game out of the way. None of them have got points. So if we go, which we should do, go on then and beat Ipswich on the weekend. We're just moving points in front all the time, and that's what we need to do now.
Yeah, Tim, are you there?
Very low.
I don't know what's
You're
happening with
very
Tim.
low.
What's happening with Tim's mic?
No,
very low, mate. I don't know what's happening. Never have issues with Tim, so I don't know what's happening there. He's frozen again, so I don't know. But we have to get that sorted. And let me see. We got more news, though. Actually, Bruno did end up saying, hard to accept what happened yesterday. We have to stick together through every moment, game by game. We will fight to take Newcastle as high as possible. We count on your support always, says Bruno on his IG account. So there you go. Something about suspensions. People were talking about suspensions. I didn't know what was the issue there, but apparently, so these are the rules right here. Let me see. So picking up 26 yellow cards in the opening 10 games. Who the hell is going to pick up 26 yellow cards?
No, 5.
No, 5.
So yeah, but this thing was written by the mag. So I mean they put 26. So I don't know why. It's opening 10 games.
10 and then
looked like
32.
Okay, so the Premier League rules are that if you pick up 5 bookings in the opening 19 Premier League games of the season, you get 1 match suspension. Then 10 yellow cards within the first 32 Premier League games of the season earns a 2-game ban with a 3-game suspension if you manage to pick up 15 yellow cards in the Premier League season altogether. So, which, I mean, it doesn't seem to be an issue, but after 33 Newcastle United matches in the Premier League season, here's the situation with the yellow cards. Bruno's got 6, Tonali's got 5, 3 for Hull, Murphy, 2 for Gordon, Longstaff, Kelly. And so it's almost impossible unless they really, I don't know, take a shot of testosterone and just go nuts. But Joe Linton has 10. Joe Linton has 10.
Yeah, well, there's only 5 games to go.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know where he would probably do his.
If he does happen to get 5 in the last 5, he'll miss.
Now, does that count if you get like 2 yellow
Next
cards
season.
and get sent off? If you get 2 yellow cards and you get sent off, does that count as 2 yellow?
As long as the second one isn't for violent conduct, no, you only get 1. That was the anomaly against who did we play before Villa?
Crystal Palace, wasn't it?
Crystal Palace, yeah. If he got, because we were saying if he got a yellow card against Palace, the best plan was for to deliberately kick the ball away from a free kick or something in the 90th minute, and then he gets 2 yellows, which then counts as a red, so it doesn't count towards his yellow card count. Weird.
Yeah, that's great.
So he would have got a 1-match ban instead of a 2-match ban.
So if he happens to get a 15 cards, which is a card per game, and trust me, I don't see that being. I don't see that happening, but I don't see that being impossible to happen either.
Well,
so
in that case, he would miss 3 games
next season,
next season.
is crazy, man. But at least this is but that would count just Premier League games.
Yeah.
So well, there you go. I talk about how does that happen, man? Just, but I'll be honest though, Joe Linton, you got to go back and look. I think he's rowdy, but you got to. But I think now there's a misconception that that referees already know Joe Linton is they almost want to give him a yellow card at any they will probably pardon other players, but Joe Linton will get a yellow. So that's unfortunately how when you got that stigma on you, it's hard to shake off. So I mean, but
Victor Vinegar saying, mic check, 1, 2.
mic check, Tim. Come on, man.
Mic check.
You cannot hear him.
Come on, Tim.
What is happening, man?
Turn it up, dude.
No,
Turn it up, dude.
It is unbelievable. Tim never had issues like this, man. It feels like the quiz night.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is turn it up, man.
Let's see. I've turned it off and turned it back on. I don't know what the hell was going on there. It's weird. I've done that.
right,
I've
We've got you
turned
now
it off
anyway. That's the main thing.
Good.
Yeah. So what do you think,
right.
mate?
So I don't know how much you heard before. I'll just run off a few things as to what I was saying before. So with the Villa game, so first half I thought it did really well to get back in the game and go in 1-1 because we had to show mettle to survive their onslaught because they were like on top of their game. So and their quality side. So I thought half time we've done really well there. Get back in 1-1. Let's just settle down. Let's just maybe sit in a bit. Let them come on to us and let's just counter if we can. Like I said before the game, I would have taken a point all day long. So, and I know you don't want to be kind of negative necessarily, but you've got to have that bit of nous and see the bigger picture. And I think because we won the last 5 games on the trot, and it's a good thing in one way because I think through that the players are thinking, you know what, we can win every game. Let's win this game. Let's go for it. And second half, we were just a bit too open. And, Murphy was caught out defensively. And, in those instances, I think it's a case of, like I say, just be compact and read the flow of the game and how on fire Villa were and their crowd were up. So, and to be honest, it does go back a little bit with what we've said a million times about kind of modern football where it is a little bit robotic at times, where players don't make those decisions at the time and read the play, whether it's just sitting in more, whether it's playing less short passes in your own half. There was a few times we did that as well, instead of just going long and regrouping. There's no shame in that when you need to. So that was a disappointment. But not being on your game against that Villa team, that's what's going to happen. So, I wasn't massively surprised once we dropped our levels that Villa went on to do what they did. I mean, I would just make a point about the rotation as well. It is a difficult one because I can totally understand where you're winning those games and you don't want to change that team because they're in that floor. And the fact that we haven't got the same depth, I think maybe is what Villa have. I just wonder maybe if Miley could have played against Palace. And Palace, obviously, we won 5-0. It was an amazing night. So you're kind of thinking, well, do you want to change that? But in terms of squad management, I think this is where if Miley's had a few more minutes under his belt, he is capable of either starting games and having that impact or coming on as a sub like Onana did for Villa and having that impact because he's kind of fresh and sharp through those minutes. So I wonder with Palace if Joe Linton or Bruno could have been rested and Miley come in with regards to Villa coming up and Bruno and Joe Linton definitely starting regardless what happens with Miley on that Palace game. Just that kind of ruthless squad management. It's nothing personal against that player that's dropped. It's just purely managing the workload. I just wonder if that was an option, maybe in hindsight.
Yeah. Fair points. But we'll never know at this point. One thing, we'll see what happens next game. I mean, we'll have a whole week though to rest, so I don't think it's different. Now it's different. One thing about Aston Villa and Newcastle, according to this report by Inside Football, that they are facing competition for goalkeeper, and it's not Trafford. It is goalkeeper from. Oh, thank you, Ian Fleming, for the super chat. There says the reason Man City play Villa tomorrow, guys, is because Villa play in the FA Cup semis on Saturday. Yeah. There it is. So that's the reason then. Yeah, I thought it was
Man
weird.
City. Well, Man City play Sunday, I think.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Interesting. Thank you, Ian, man. Appreciate that. So, they're saying that goalkeeper, what was his name? A Turkish lad. According to the Turkish Daily, Sabah. Huh?
Mohamedash, really?
No, he's Georgian, man.
Oh, he is. Sorry.
This guy, man, he gets all the nationalities. Yeah, man, he just said Colochinis came from Spain. Come on, man. No, I'm looking for his name. It's Ozer. He's ready to make a move somewhere. He's from Eyüpspor, something like that.
Eyüpspor?
Yeah, something like that. Apparently that's a goalkeeper that nobody's heard of, but apparently Aston Villa and Newcastle have been keeping their eye on him.
Well, he has the thing that a couple of the Villa channels have been saying that for some reason Martinez isn't happy anymore.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Because I tell you what, I wouldn't mind getting him.
Oh, Christ.
I don't like him, so I don't know. I guess I don't know. There's some
just because he's Argentinian or what?
No, nothing to do with that. Just because his antics, I don't like it. It makes me want to fight him. I want to fight him. So if I'm a forward, I would fight him every game.
He antagonizes him.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And just because you can't answer, he just keeps doing what he's doing. Now, apparently, some rules have changed where you can't antagonize people. I think after that World Cup, it's when they won against France. Yeah, but I don't think he's one of the best in the world, though. I mean, even on his levels, just talking football. But I guess everybody's got a different opinion. I just don't think he's one of the best in the world.
I think he's one of the best in the Premier League for an overall keeper, because his distribution of his feet's really good, and he's brave. I mean, at the end of the day, when you start putting, if you were to start putting like goalkeepers in the Premier League at the minute on paper, Martinez would be in the top 5, wouldn't he?
Oh, comfortably. I think he's the best, mate.
But I mean, like I say, you look at Ederson, Alisson, Ederson, and then you start questioning. That's what I said. When you actually put paper, pen to paper, it's very difficult to pull away from those three keepers.
Yeah, I'd take him over.
Hadn't we?
Forest game's finished, by the way, 2-1.
Yeah, we dropped a place.
Oh my God.
We're down to 4th, and if obviously if the result goes against us tomorrow, getting Villa get it, It's going to be a toughie, I'll tell you now.
Well, it will be. I mean, I do worry a bit about Villa because of their fixtures as well. They've got us Tottenham. Tottenham last game of the season, who might well be playing in the Europa League final 3 days later. So they're going to sack that game off, and then they've got Man United in the last game of the season, who have either won the Europa League potentially on the drink, or they'll be just depressed, and the crap. So if Villa can't win those 2 games, then there's something wrong, and I think you can get surprises, but I hope that
they've got Fulham and Bournemouth, which are not easy games.
No, I know, but
true. I'm happy they got Bournemouth, definitely, because Bournemouth are a very good team. So
the issue with me with the Villa game is that or with Newcastle, my issue is more that we have them in our hands. If you know that, if you look at the Villa game and say we have to beat Villa, because if we do, more than likely we're kicking them out of the race, and then it's us and somebody else. Another, we didn't do that. So, I don't know that second place is going to be as important for the whole team. But I mean, it could be a target. But I think the target is finishing Champions League. So what I'm getting at is beating Chelsea is going to be a massive one to see where Chelsea can finish. I don't know about beating Arsenal anymore. I mean, that could be for finishing second, but I don't know if that's really to finish in Champions League. Or maybe you do have to beat Arsenal anyway, because you need because Villa might be catching up. I think Man City are going to be, they're gonna show up pretty soon. But they also have to beat Villa though. So, they have to beat Villa, and if they beat Villa, then now we're talking. So, and we got to play Ipswich. Let me tell you something. If we're gonna beat Ipswich. We're gonna beat Ipswich. Because if we don't, man,
questions will be asked.
Questions, more than questions, man. Anyway, so yeah, this goalkeeper Ozzer. I don't know how good he is, but he playing at AU Sport. Then I don't know if it's that good, but I think we just donated 5 memberships. They have gone to Saudi Boy. Look, I saw Saudi Boy the other day. He was super chatting. Saudi Boy, Mark Sanderson. Then you got Fergo Ferretti. Then you got Ian McCubbin and Ibrahim Hamdo. There you go. So there you go.
Welcome,
thank you. Welcome to all the membership. Please consider continue your membership after it's up. It's you get a lot of content. You're gonna get the hard question this week from Mighty Win about what's been the best season ever, and you can actually comment on that as well if you're an NTTV Plus member. As a fan, I'm sure you're not gonna agree with Mighty Win, but it's okay. Thank you to Colton Connor, for being a member for 4 months. Appreciate that, mate. And Ian Fleming as well for 14 months. Ian Fleming since day one. That's pretty much how long we've been. 14 months.
I thought it was for 007 months.
What was that?
Was not a member for 007 months?
007
Ian
months?
Fleming.
No.
Oh, hey, see how slow that was. Then it was like,
well, it's actually 007, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
14.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
14 months.
Man. 007 months.
So cheers to everybody out there. Okay, more news, shall we? Ooh,
yeah.
This is a good one. This is a good one. And it is that there's a report now in the Daily Mail. Tim was talking about possibly bringing Louis Miley on. Well, the Daily Mail's reporting saying that he is being tracked by Premier League and Bundesliga clubs ahead of the summer window. Now, this thing here says, look, anything that comes from the Daily Mail more than likely has a bit of Craig Hope special barbecue sauce on it. So, if it relates to Newcastle United, obviously, that the young Miley's progress has been stifled in 24-25. Clubs around Europe have garnered a strong interest in the 18-year-old, as per Fabrizio Romano. And the Durham boy Who else is born in Durham?
Bobby Robson.
Bobby Robson. They got hey, cut from the same cloth, baby. Cut from the same cloth. How many players from Durham? I think that'll be on.
I thought he was from West. I hope.
West
Miley.
I'm gonna say.
Well, Durham. They say Durham, so I don't know. He has 4 years left on his contract on his current deal, which expires in June 29. But that is just a number nowadays in football. And if the kid is promised that he'll play, and if a big club, I don't know. I mean, I'm just there's no names on the on this thing. Bundesliga could be anybody. Premier League could be anybody. But I don't know. If you tell me like what would you like? I don't know. Like a dormant, that's gonna give him minutes, more than likely Champions League all the time. Would he not leave? And I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, a club below that though, I don't think it would move him. But interesting. What do you guys think? I mean, it's
All be down to money, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If I was him.
I don't know. I don't know because unless you go to a big club, then they're gonna pay you good money. Dormant could pay you good money. I'm just speculating. We don't know the
put
names.
it this way: we'll find out when he gets offered his new contract. Because
Yeah,
I mean, at the minute he's on what, $3,000 a week or something.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Not at all. You look at Capology. I don't. But you were wrong about Lewis Hall anyway. So you said he was on 7,000 a week.
Well, it hasn't been published yet what he's on.
So I don't know. I mean, yeah, but that's whatever he's on. If he's on very low wages, that's gonna get fixed pretty soon. I would expect. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
But so I don't think it's gonna be about that though. I think it's more about minutes. It's more about time. If he is important to the squad that wants to get him, I think we'll be losing a big talent.
Lewis Hall $7,000 according to Capology. Lewis Miley $5,000.
I wouldn't. If I'm Newcastle, I just can't let that happen.
No, I'd be very reluctant to sell. And with extra games next season, with at least Conference League, there's no way we should be looking to sell him. I know we have to trade better. I know that, and it maybe depend. If a club comes in with silly money, and they're offering first team football, like you say, you might turn around and say, "Well, you know what, that's what I want." But surely we can offer enough games next season, while he's still only 18, I think.
Believe it or not, he only signed his contract. Lewis Miley only signed his contract in January last year. And he's contracted to June 2029.
Yeah, 9. I'm gonna say. I thought he was.
Oh, good. No, I think
Well,
he
not
needs
really
more
good.
minutes.
Not when he's on $5,000 a week.
Well, not for him, but I'd take that.
Players of his age, you see, aren't in it for the money. This is what we said about Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall, you don't get to these heights of being, a rich player until you're established at a club. And for Lewis Hall, it was a move to a club where he was going to get minutes. He didn't play very much when he first come into the club because obviously he wasn't showing what Eddie Howe wanted him to show and that left back position. And it's like Miley. Miley's in the club because it's a club. He wears the colours on his art type of thing. It's his boyhood club. So he's playing just for the prestige at the minute. When he makes a move, if he does make a move somewhere else, that's when his agent, if he's any good, can look for the money. But at this present moment in time, I think he still lives with his mum and dad. He doesn't need the money.
Well, hey, I'm sure he'll think otherwise. if he's getting paid by that. No, but I don't think it's about money because his contract with Newcastle is going to go up. There's no debate there. I'm talking about more the playing time. And listen, you might say to the young lad, look, man, your time is going to come. Just relax. But it's easy to say that, first of all, when you're young, and second of all, when if he's young and he sees Longstaff and then Joe Willock is half-assing it most of the time, just not even young, any player would think, why am I doing here?
Yeah, but I know what you mean. But I think Longstaff and Willock's futures are both up in the air. I think I wouldn't be surprised if both of those players leave.
But the thing, though, Tim, if that is the case, they Well, Longstaff, I'll agree with you, but Willock plays over him all the time. He doesn't get minutes. Miley and Osula don't ever get minutes. They'll
I
get
know,
1
yeah,
minute and a half every 2 months or so. But
yeah. It
Uh,
maybe it's just like we say with Eddie Howe, the way he likes to do it, and I think he is a bit conservative that way and is too cautious with youngsters. Even with Hall, I think I would still argue maybe he could have played a few more games last season.
right,
Um, but still, with Miley, I, you know, we've got to be looking to make the most out of the talent that he has. Whether it might not be an absolute nailed-on starter next season, but one of the lessons learned, I think, was about having a bigger squad when we are in Europe. So if we're going to be learning those lessons, that means by default the likes of Miley will be playing more games because we have to
yeah,
rotate better
hmm
than what we have been doing. So well, he's a talent that's came through the academy, and the last thing we need to be doing, in my opinion, is giving away talent like that we've got kind of for free, if you like, because that's what we need to be doing better is bring through youngsters without having to
yeah.
splash money
Well,
left, right, and centre.
that's another way of looking at things because Miley will be all profit, and if you say Kobe Mainu, how much is he worth? 10 million less. You can sell Miley for. Just because, not because I think Kobe Mainu got more talent, but simply because Mainu has been in the shopping window longer than Miley. Obviously, Miley doesn't play much, but I think they're about the same as talent wise, um, in my opinion. I mean, I may be wrong, but imagine if you can get 40 million for him. I mean, that's one hell of a profit.
yeah, I
I'll
mean
tell
his
you that.
value is at 20 million at the minute, and like I
I
said,
was just going to have a look.
for me, it's a case of when you say he hasn't had minutes, he hasn't had many minutes, but when he's come on, you know, for me, I think it's all about aptitude, I agree. Miley hasn't lit the fires like he did when he was playing week in week out. And I said this before. He struggles. He struggles really to play anywhere else apart from where Bruno plays. So for me, it's a case of do you shuffle the pack constantly to play a player into a position that he's happy to play in? Same as Longstaff. Longstaff only seems to, you know, enjoy his game when he plays in the Bruno right side of centre position. And for me, it's all about when the gaffer gives you the shout, and it doesn't matter what position you play in, you go out there and run your course. And I just don't think he's
Mhm.
applied himself very well when he's played in the J7 in the left of centre. I think he could have done a lot better for himself to shine a little bit because, we could say Anderson didn't have many minutes, but every time Anderson entered the pitch in the J7 role, you knew he was on the pitch. I just think there's too many players that come on that aren't actually showing when they come on the field.
I
So I
think,
think a lot of that is himself as well, Chris.
yeah, well, that could be. I mean, obviously, the player's got to be at fault for a certain, you know, why he doesn't get minutes, but he's only started one game this season, and I think that was against who, with Lincoln City or something, some lower level team. Was it maybe against Bromley or something? Maybe that was the game. I don't know.
Yeah,
And then play a total of 219 minutes across 11 games. 11 games all season. He was hurt, I think, though, part of it, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken. So average 20 minutes per game. I mean, it'll be interesting to see, but I think he's got talent. So I'm kind of in the fence. I don't know. I don't want to sell him, but we got to get players in, man. We can't deal with entertaining sales if we don't have the proper backup. Um, so yeah, he's from Stanley, County Durham. So I think that's what Helsesar was saying. And Win, why are you quiet, man?
I'm just looking to see what because Brant put in the chat there that he's had 581 played 581 minutes,
Well,
and
this
that
report here
seems
says
like a
200.
lot to me.
No, this report by the Daily Mail says 219 minutes. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess they proofread it. I don't know. So they will probably know. But regardless, yeah, that's what's going on with him. Um, we'll see what happens with Mr. Lewis Miley. Interesting thing to follow to see. But look at that, man. Regardless, for whatever it's worth, a good talent to come out of Newcastle. When's the last time you've seen that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's rare. It has been a rarity.
If listen, I'm speculating on what club it could be. Right, we don't know. It could be Leipzig for all we know, and I think it's a decent club, but that wouldn't be an upgrade on Newcastle. So if it's that, then maybe not. But if he goes to Dortmund, if he goes to I don't know, AC Milan
This season he had 90 minutes against Nottingham Forest when we won 4-3. 45 minutes against Man City when we lost 4-0. And apart from that, he's had 1, 7, 11, 3, 21, 1, 25 and 5.
Well, Brandon's explaining here. It's added his minutes in the under 21. He's played 219 in the Prem and 236 minutes in the FA Cup. So that's what he's saying.
You see,
right
that's kind of what you would expect for a young player, for him to be used in the cup games.
If you have a decent squad, but we don't. I mean, if you think about it, how much competition does he have? I've said here that he should be the first midfielder to come on.
Well, I agree with that.
But if that's the case, then
I think it's
I think that's what you're about to say is what the issue is, Tim. Go.
Yeah, just I think I agree with you, Chris. From the outside looking in, he'd be my first choice as well to come into the midfield when someone's down. But I think maybe it's Eddie Howe looks at maybe maturity and stuff and just trusts the experience of Willock and Longstaff over the lack of experience of Miley, with him only being 17 or now 18. Granted, I know he played all them games last season. He actually did look really mature. He was brilliant, wasn't he? But like I say, I think Eddie Howe is quite conservative that way, which is maybe a bit too much. Mm-hmm. But when there's potential movement in the squad with at least Longstaff, then that's where it's like, okay, do we need to sell Miley? Like, if we think he's a really big talent, we'll sell Miley to get another talent in, but we've already got that talent in Miley there in the squad.
Exactly.
And but I know that maybe you'd have to sell some players to then, you sell one player to get two sometimes with the PSR and the rules, etc. So I understand that side of it, but it just seems a waste if we were to sell Miley with the talent that he has with a local lad coming through, who can then potentially challenge those three midfielders and eventually replace one of them.
Well, I think this season there have been a number of games where either J7 or Bruno haven't had good games. When we've been remarking on it in the games, and Eddie is definitely reluctant to replace either of those. Now, you could say understandably, because they're regularly loaded by everybody, not just us as the best midfield three in the country. So he's kind of saying he'll forgive them the bad game because they might come good in that 90 minutes, and he's kind of hanging his hat on that. But there are times when I think he could have been put on to replace one of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what happens with Lewis Miley as the months go by. It's already about to be May, man. We only got 2 months left before not even 2. What's about to be? Well, yeah, it is about to be May. So, we got 1 month. Well, when does the summer window start? June.
July, 1st of July.
Oh, 1st of July. Okay.
Oh,
so
well, actually, I thought
it's June though.
It's opening in
June
for 2 weeks and then closing again.
Yeah. So it is. Yeah.
For that
2 months though. We got 2 months of window.
The World Club competition.
And so the Club World Cup competition, man. Put the club in front of it. And another transfer news that we can talk about is that Newcastle, I kind of knew about this anyway, but I want to talk about it with you guys. And we'll get to some of your comments, so please keep the comments coming. And about Bryan Mbeumo. So Newcastle see development here with Liverpool now jumping on the bandwagon to keep their eyesight on Mbeumo. I mean, what's happening with Salah?
Well, Salah's just signed the new 2-year deal, hasn't he?
Yeah. Has he?
Yeah.
Well, the Chronicle is reporting that Liverpool still are interested And
Well,
jumping on
bear in
Bryan
mind.
Mbeumo,
Oh, well, so does Mbeumo. They both go away for the African
African
Cup
Cup.
of Nations.
Yeah. So that is something that we might suffer often, and we
Exactly.
have seen Chelsea deal with that with Didier Drogba a long time ago. One of the main ones, obviously, and actually they had a lot of Africans. Essien at the time, Obi Mikel at the time as well. They really Chelsea. I remember Chelsea suffering that a lot, and of course with Mo Salah in Liverpool. So listen, but I guess that's the price of having a good talent. But regardless, my question is though, if Liverpool jump on, are we knackered?
We are knackered.
I don't know, because
Where are we in the pecking order is the question. Can we sell Mbeumo and say, look, you're going to be the main guy over here on the right? You
yes,
actually could.
Yes, I think we can.
You,
Because
you're more of a selling club for minutes playing, aren't you?
Which
if
is a
you
big
look at
deal.
where we are, yeah, absolutely. And I think it does depend so much on where we finish. If we finish outside of the Champions League, the number of opportunities you get for elite players will diminish. You're still in a European competition, but you are going to diminish some of the players that want to play at the highest level, and that's fact. So it depends on how Mbeumo sees it. I mean, we've heard lots of rumours from his agents and everybody else saying that, it's the ideal club for him. It's a step up from the team that he's playing with at the moment, and they're playing in Europe. And like I say, so for me, if we can continue this march into the Champions League, I think there's yo, dude,
hey,
Hey.
Betsy,
Betsy saying hi.
Betsy,
happy Easter.
Happy Easter. He said happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Yeah.
Happy
Well,
Easter.
There's Mighty
Oh,
Wayne needs
there's
it.
River as well.
Mighty Wayne needs it. Trust me, he needs to be bathing in holy water. But anyway,
He's only just spat it out.
yeah, he'll start twirling and he'll start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
smoke coming out of his ears.
Anyways, so yeah, what were you saying, mate, about the Mbeumo situation?
Well, no, I was just saying it all depends on where we finish, I think, and it's like the reports out today about Man United now really close on triggering the 63.5 million release clause for Cunha, who was another player that we were very interested in, and potentially could still be. It's really weird for me. The ideal man that, and we know that he can play in that zone, would be Mbeumo. He's Premier League ready. He'll offer us something totally different. He can play up top as well. So, you've got a player that can play right hand side. And if you want to, give Isaac a breather, you've got a player who can play up top as well. So for me, Cunha, Mbeumo, I'd be happy with either of them.
Yeah. So what the rest of Tim? What do you think, man? And Mbeumo, can we convince him if Liverpool? If I think that's about it, though. I think that's the only club I fear, really. Well, maybe an Arsenal coming into the table because Mighty Wayne thinks London is the greatest city on earth, so everybody wants to live there. It's heaven on earth.
But he's up against Saka at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But actually, Mbeumo, man, he can play center.
Yeah, well, I think with Liverpool, the attraction he might see is that Salah's 32, 33. So I know obviously you want to play straight away, but he might think, well, you know what? Not that season he joins, but the next season might be first choice.
Here's the thing, though. The only thing that still haunts us is that at some point, right now, players still might think, well, Newcastle's doing great, but how long is this going to last?
Yeah.
Until it becomes like a set thing where, okay, Newcastle is here. We got to go there. Because they can say, well, if they have to pick Liverpool, they can say Liverpool is always in Champions League, always, got the best talent. Unfortunately, that might be, that might jeopardize us, But
it'd be difficult, I think, if they came in. I think he's a quality player, Mbeumo, and like you say, the fact that he can play up front would be a massive benefit when we're wanting somebody to cover for Isaac. What I would say, though, is I think I'd prefer Semenyo. From what I've seen, I'd prefer Semenyo from Bournemouth. I think he can go down the outside and come in on the inside, and it's just my preference. But I would like to keep the dynamic of having a right footer on the right and an inverted winger on the left. And Semenyo, to me, he looks top class. And
Yeah.
I'd go for him. And I think with Cunha from Wolves, he's a quality player, but the position he's played in the least is on the right. So yes, we can get him in, and I've got no doubt he'd do well. But does he really want to play there when he wants to be cutting in from the left and getting? We're back to the situation with Gordon and Barnes again. So he's a talented player, but I'd rather get somebody in who is an out and out, or first of all is very comfortable on the right. First and foremost. And for me, Semenyo, he can go down the outside. It's his natural side. He can whip those crosses in, but he can come inside as well. He's got the pace. He's got the power. I don't know if he can play up front as well. I'm not sure, but I'd be going for him as opposed to two inverted wingers in Barnes and Mbeumo or Gordon, both coming in. I know you got the fullbacks overlapping, but I'd want to keep that dynamic if I can. So that's who I'd go for. But we'll see. I think Mbeumo, in terms of if we can get him, it just depends who else comes in. If Liverpool come in, I think that's where he'll go. But anybody else, I mean, Arsenal, like you said,
yeah,
he's not going to play there. So
other than that, I think we're pretty good. Pretty good.
Does anybody want to go to Man U right now?
No.
They're not. I'm telling you, they're not a club. They're not a club that that's the only big club that is all history and no present. And we can't keep saying, because like 5 years after Fergie left, there was they gotta get situated because Fergie was there for 20 plus years, so 30 something years, I think. Or how long was it? Whatever long.
22, I think it was.
So it'll take time. No, man, it's 15, almost 20 years later, man. You gotta get over that. So it's not working. So nobody wants to go there because it's just a Pandora box of negativity. I mean, you think we're negative when we lose? I mean, it's crazy. I don't think it attracts people.
Well, hey, some of us are negative when we win.
Hey, that sounds like a self problem, man. You got to fix that. Anyways, I know where you're trying to go from there. I ain't got that problem. Anyways, so that's what's going to happen. We don't know yet, but what if Liverpool jump on? Well, we don't know. Last but not least, just to mention that I think there's a certain amount of games that Lloyd Kelly has to play for Juventus before he becomes a permanent thing over there, and because of the unfortunate demise of the Pope, the Serie A has postponed the next 3 fixtures. Something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. So, believe it or not, that does affect, and they also have to qualify for Europe, I think, for that thing, for that release clause to activate. Which, if Juventus don't finish in Europe, then yeah, there is a problem. And he's not too well liked, Lloyd Kelly over there, man. So, don't know. Maybe we counted our chickens before they. What was it? What was the? Count your chickens before they hatch?
Before they
exactly.
hatch,
yeah. Because yeah.
Well, I think it was obviously a change of management as well, wasn't it? I think that's all unhinged the original plan for Lloyd Kelly. And like I say, he didn't set the world alight when he first played. Seemed to get himself into the rhythm of the game. I think it suits the style of player that Lloyd Kelly is over in Italy. But I mean, again, we saw this with one of our young guns that we've brought on board with Pivas. He goes over there, he gets in and out the side, and it was the same that happened to Kowal, wasn't it, when he went to Eredivisie? He was in the side, then they changed the manager, and he didn't like the style of play that he was. So Kowal went by the wayside. So changing managers sometimes does upset the apple cart a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is interesting. It is interesting one.
Yep. We'll see. Well, he might be depth for next season. Who knows? He might do all right. I don't know.
I think there's going to be a lot of people watching the Ollie Watkins situation now. I'll tell you now at Villa, because he's had a bit of a rant towards the manager.
He did. That's crazy.
And it all depends now on Unai Emery and the way he feels Ollie Watkins should be treated. Because, when a player he's moaning that he only got 16 minutes against PSG, He obviously come out to show Unai Emery against Newcastle exactly what he is.
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't be liked over here talking like that, or nor he would like Isak starting over him. So, because as much as good as he is, he's not better than Isak. So, anyway, moving on to comments before we finish off. Stephen Harker.
Just out of interest, Kelly has played the last 7 games for Juventus.
Yeah.
Interesting then. So there we go. All right. So
90 minutes.
Let me finish with the comments. Stephen Harker says exactly 100% win. Look at the top 6. All played each other, including us versus Chelsea and Arsenal. They would all drop points. Michael says, I don't think whatever. Oh, we read this one. Gavin Fuller is no one worried that we did not adapt to their game plan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Extremely worried.
Why wasn't Jones in charge, this Kenny? Graham Jones. Well, he can't be. I mean, he was a manager, though. He's been a manager.
Yeah, for 1 game.
Yeah.
I mean, JT's been a manager for what? Not that longer. But, I mean, it's just JT's he's just an assistant manager, man. Michael NUFC, if the TOON want to be up there, you don't play like that. Villa are below us, and they won it. It's proven Saturday. That's what expect from a team that wants it. Yeah,
they were able to make four changes as well. I mean, it's fresh legs, it's fresh impetus, and like I said, it was management. It was coaches' tactical awareness. We had a weakness, and they exploited it.
Yeah. Victor Vinegar, do you? Where is it? Where did it go? Says, I don't know what happened to Victor Vinegar's comment. It just disappeared in front of my very eyes. But I will go to the next one then. Kenzie. Forrest about to beat Spurs. Oh, that's too late. Yeah, they already got beaten. Jordy Dan, we need to keep our 4th choice midfielder if we are going to the Champions League. We already have a skeleton bench anyway. Yeah, that's another statement. Mark Smith, welcome to the channel, mate. Romano believes Mateus Cunha would be an ideal signing for Newcastle. But we don't play with the 10, though, so I don't even know, man. I don't know. Eddie would have to change a lot of things that I don't know if he's going to do that anyway. But
you'd have 3 players then who want to play on the left, and I
don't know. Much. Stephen Field, Ipswich is a must-win. Let's hope Saturday was a blip. The real Jayco tomorrow. Him and the Mighty Win will be going at it on whether Eddie Howe is the greatest manager ever for Newcastle United. He says it's not enough minutes for someone of Miley's talent. He has proved himself last season. He's good enough. He's also technically better on the ball than J7. Ooh,
he is.
Now that is a statement and a half.
The one thing that you could see, even against the Villa and Crystal Palace highlighted J7 as the weak one in the midfield. So there was 3 or 4 players around him all the time. And what J7 did really well that game was not control it or not try and control it. It was all first touch round the corners into space, which got him out of trouble. But him and Jacob Murphy, unfortunately, in the first couple of seconds against Aston Villa, we were on the offensive. Jacob Murphy, there was 3 players that got the ball back, Bruno and Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy put the ball out of his feet, but he touched it so hard that he allowed Tielemans to win the ball back, and that's when they go down the wing and unfortunately get the deflected goal. So if his control in the final third was better, and it's all about controlling the game. You don't control the game by heavy touches. You've got to grace the ball when you're in the final third. You've got to allow them to come onto you, and then you've got to work the space in and behind. And we just try and rush things too much for me. And unless you've got players that are technically gifted on the ball that can hold the ball up and work the space with speed, then you're always going to lose it. And it was evident against Aston Villa because every time we won it, they were on the break every time. And they down their left hand side with Maatsen, who looked electric down that left hand side, I must admit. And Holly Watkins also highlighting the gap between Trippier and Shaw. It was unfortunately it was one-way traffic.
Yeah. All right. So we had a good show. We will see what happens.
What happened with the poll? Because Brant's
Oh,
just saying there we went from man of the match to
Match to-
worst man of the match.
Well, I don't think people got it because they were like nobody. Neither of them play good. You know, they were commenting like that. So I don't think. I think we need to. Well, I put WOTM. So maybe I need to put worst.
I thought
man of the match.
I thought it was woman of the match. I'm thinking, oh, be careful.
No.
Well, they played like a load of women, didn't they?
Oh,
Ooh.
if I had a bag, I'd hold it to my chest.
Oh man. Oh my goodness, Wynn doesn't read the room, man. I tell you. Anyways, I think the one that won it was Joe Linton, which could be the worst player of the match, to be honest. To be fair, and Bruno G second, Byrne joint second, and Murphy third or last. So there you go. Anyways, folks, it's been a good one. Thank you to Tim. Thank you, Wynn. Thank you, Gary, for coming up. And we'll be back again. Thank you to everybody that's super chatted, that's donated to the channel. Appreciate it very much. And we will see you later on tomorrow.
All those
at
lovely
9:30
long
p.m.
memberships.
Yeah, tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Join us for another show, late night show on all things Newcastle United. See you later, folks.
We're the lads.
Tomorrow's show is going to be bigger than the Eubank Ben performance on Saturday.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
come on, Jefferson, and win.
Come on, Jefferson. That's it. There you
Bring your
go.
gloves.